Hello everyone, I am Komal Mathur and I am a legal intern at Lexis and Company. I am a BA LLB student at Manipal University Jaipur and currently I am studying in my second year. I am glad to have this opportunity to intern with Lexis and Company as this is the sole reason why I am here presenting this video in front of you all. So the purpose or topic of today's video is contempt, dignity and fair criticism. Before talking about contempt, dignity, and fair criticism, let us first know what these words mean. What is their literal meaning and how are they interpreted by the law? So, contempt of court is an offense of disobedience or disrespect towards court of law and its officers in the form of conduct that opposes or challenges the authority, justice, and dignity of the court. Contempt of court is a constitutional power vested with the Supreme Court of India, whereas dignity basically means the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect, and criticism means the expression of disapproval of someone or something on the basis of perceived faults or mistake. Now, let us talk about some legal provisions related to the same. Article 129 of Indian Constitution states that the Supreme Court of India shall be a court of record and shall have all the powers of such a court, including the power to punish for contempt of itself. Superior courts of record have the powers to punish contempts relating to the judges of those courts and the proceedings therein. The principal aim of the jurisdiction is to protect the dignity of the court and the due administration of justice. The Contempt of Court Act of 1971, under Section 2, Subclause C, defines and limits the power of a court in punishing the contempts of the court. Contempt can be civil as well as criminal depending on its nature. One of the main objectives of the law of contempt is to protect the machinery of justice and the interest of the public. It provides a mechanism to prevent interference and to maintain the authority of the law and justice. The object of contempt proceedings is not to protect judges and personally from the criticism, but to protect the public by preserving the authority of the court and administration under the undue attacks. Now, let me tell you about some guidelines for the exercise of jurisdiction to commit for contempt. First is economic use of jurisdiction is desirable. Second, harmonization between free criticism and the judiciary should be the goal. Another guideline is confusion between the personal protection of the libel judges and the prevention of obstruction of public justice should be avoided. The press should be given free play within the responsible limits even when the focus is critical attention of the court. Judges should not be hypersensitive even where the distortions or criticism steps over the limits. Now, what are the necessary ingredients to constitute the contempt of a court in India? Now, in short, I would like to name some cases which have given some of the essential ingredients. First is interference with the administration of justice, and it was given in the case of Brahma Prakash Sharma versus State of Uttar Pradesh. Second is scandalizing the court, which was given in the case of P.N. Dua versus Shiv Shankar and others. And the third and last most important ingredients to constitute contempt of court is interference with due course of justice, and this was given in the case of Pritam Lal versus High Court of MP. Recently, the Supreme Court of India suo motu initiated the proceedings for criminal contempt of court against the lawyer activist Prashant Bhushan for his tweet criticizing the current Chief Justice of India and role of some Chief Justices of India in the past. He stands accused of criminal contempt. The court registered the proceedings after a petition was moved citing two tweets done by Bhushan. Bhushan had published over the last 2 months. In the tweets, the lawyer had commented on the Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, and about the general functioning of the court in the last 4 Chief Justices. The court said it found the tweets prima facie contempt. The contempt of court of law is one of the most controversial elements in the Indian legal context. While the basic idea of the contempt law is to punish those who do not respect the orders and the officials of the court. Now, contempt is also used to punish speech that lowers the dignity of court and its officials and interferes with the administration of justice and legal processes. It was found that a law for criminal contempt is completely asynchronous with our democratic system, which recognizes freedom of speech and expression as a fundamental right. Now, an excessively loose use of text of loss of public confidence combined with liberal excuse of suo motu powers can be dangerous, for it can amount the court, signaling that it will not suffer any kind of critical commentary about the institution at all, regardless of how evidently problematic its actions may be. In this manner, the judiciary could find itself at an uncanny parallel with the executive in using the laws for the chilling effects. Now, let us know what is need to be done. Besides needing to revisit the need for a law on criminal contempt, even the test for contempt need to be evaluated. First thing what we can do is, if such a test ought to exist at all, it should be whether the contemptuous remark in the question actually obstructs the court and its functioning. Second question, it should not be allowed to use as a means to prevent any and all criticism of an institution, which is why I said in my topic about fair criticism, which is fair criticism should be allowed, as we live in a country called India, which gives us a fundamental right of freedom of speech and expression. As you are now familiar with some of the contempt laws of our country, let us know about some contempt laws of other countries in short. Already, contempt has practically become obsolete in foreign democracies also, with jurisdiction recognizing it is an archaic law designed for use in the bygone era, whose utility and necessity has long vanished. Canada ties its test for contempt to real, substantial, and immediate dangers to the administration. American countries no longer use the law of contempt in response to comment on judges and the court. In England also, the legal position of these contempt laws has been evolved and has almost vanished. Thank you everyone. That's all for today. See you tomorrow.